I was not there, but I remember. There is something new beside the candle tonight, after all these nights of still things, a bottle of earth, a letter, a torn veil, a child's broken bead. Tonight there is a thing made for moving, a staff, a pilgrim's staff, worn smooth at the grip by a hand that leaned its whole weight on it for years. Look at how it sits. Every other object we have laid on this stone has rested there. This one leans, it points. It is already halfway down a road. Because tonight is not a night of a death. We have had our fill of deaths, you and I, these 14 nights. I have buried my whole family in front of you, one by one. And my voice has not been the same since the 10th. Tonight is a night of a journey. Tonight I am going to tell you about a man who was not at Karbala, who arrived too late by 40 days, who could not have lifted a hand to help even if he had been young enough, because he was old and he was blind, and who, when the worst was already over and there was nothing in the world left to save, did the one thing that a witness can still do after the witnessing is finished. He got up and he walked toward Husayn. His name was Jabir, the son of Abdullah al-Ansari, and I knew him. Or rather, my grandfather, the messenger of God, peace and blessings be upon him, and his family knew him and loved him, and Jabir loved my grandfather Husayn from the day Husayn was born. So let me tell you who he was, before I tell you what he did. Because who he was is the whole reason that what he did matters to you tonight. Sitting where you are, sitting. Jabir was an old man by the time of Karbala. He had been a boy when the Prophet was alive, a young companion among the great companions. And he had outlived almost all of them. He had seen the beginning, and now he was living in the bitter aftermath, an old man in a world that had murdered the family of the Prophet it claimed to follow. And across all of that, across the whole long arc of his life, Jabir had done one thing without ever once stopping. He had loved the house of Muhammad out loud when loving them out loud was dangerous. You understand what that cost? There were decades in which to say, I love Ali, I love Husayn, the truth is with them, was to mark yourself, to lose your safety, to be watched. And Jabir said it anyway, year after year, into every wind. He never lifted a sword for them. He was not a man of the battlefield, and by the end he could not have found the battlefield with his own eyes. But there is a kind of witness that does not need a sword, and we spent the whole of last night learning its name. The scholar at his desk, the mother in her childbed, the honest man on his road, the grades of witness. Jabir was all of them in one body, a living witness who never struck a blow and never stopped bearing testimony across 90 years until the seeing went out of his eyes and the love only burned brighter for the dark. And then they killed Husayn. And I want you to feel what that news did to a blind old man hundreds of miles away who had loved that child since the hour of his birth. A man who could not ride out, could not fight, could not even see to make his way to the grave. The most helpless witness imaginable, old, blind, late, everything that the world says makes a man useless to a cause. And here is what Jabir understood that the world does not. That there is no such thing as being useless to Husayn. That even the latest, the oldest, the blindest, the most helpless lover of the truth still has one thing he can do. He can turn his face toward it and walk. So on the 40th day, the 20th of the month of Safar, 40 days after the noon that broke the world, Jabir set out for Karbala. He did not go alone. God, who is gentle even in the worst of it, gave the blind old man a companion, a younger man named Atiyah, who walked beside him to be his eyes, to hold his arm over the rough ground, to keep him from falling. Picture it, not an army, not a procession. Two men, one old and blind and burning, one young and steadying, the first 2 feet on the road. The first understand what I am telling you. The road from the cities of Iraq to the grave of my grandfather, is now in your own time. The most walked road on the face of the earth. 20 million feet walk it every single year on these very days. A river of human beings of every color and every tongue flowing toward a single grave. You have seen the pictures. Some of you have walked it, some of you ache to, and all of it. The whole 20 million-footed river began with one blind old man and the friend who held his arm, picking their careful way across the desert toward a son of the prophet who was already in the ground. Jabir opened that road. Every pilgrim who has ever walked it since is walking in the footprints of a man who could not even see where he was placing his feet. And every step he took was a sentence. Do you understand? He could not give a sermon at the court like the sister did. He could not raise a sword like the companions. His witness was the walking itself. Each painful step of an old man's feet across the sand was a word and a testimony that said, with the whole weight of a body that had nothing else left to give, I am still his. The empire killed him, and I am still his, and I am coming to him. And there is nothing you can do to stop an old man from walking toward the one he loves. 40 days the world had had to forget Karbala. And here came Jabir on the 40th day, refusing. And then they reached it. Atiyah tells us, for it is Atiyah who carried this back to us, the young man who walked beside him, that when they came near to the grave, Jabir asked to be brought to the water of the Euphrates first. The blind old man washed himself in the river as a man washes for the most important meeting of his life. He put on clean things. He took what little perfume he had and he wore it. An old man, perfuming himself the way you ready yourself to come before someone you have loved your whole life and are about to meet at last. And then he asked Atiyah, take me to him. And Atiyah took his hand and led him, step by careful step, across the ground where 40 days before the whole sky had fallen. And he placed the hand of Jabir upon the grave of Husayn. And the old man's hand came down on the earth. And everything he had carried for 90 years, every silent year of a dangerous love, every step of that long blind road, every grief of an old man who had outlived the whole bright morning of his faith, all of it arrived at once. In the palm of a hand pressed against cold ground, he cried out, he called the name Husayn. He called it the way you call into a house you already know is empty. Husayn, Husayn. And the strength went out of his old legs and he fell, fainting, onto the grave of the one he had come to find, a beloved. Come at the very last to the beloved, late and blind and undefeated. And hear my voice now, my beloved. Hear what is happening to it. For 14 nights I have spoken to you from under a weight. Since the noon of the 10th I have not been able to lift it. But I am standing beside Jabir at this grave, and his hand is on the earth that holds my grandfather, and an old blind man who could do nothing, nothing but love and nothing but walk, has just laid a whole faithful life down upon that earth as the purest witness I have shown you in all these nights. And something in me that has been bowed since the trampling stands up. Because this is the answer. This is the thing the broken voice was waiting 4 nights to be told they did not win. They trampled the body, and 40 days later a blind man walked across a desert to kiss the ground, and 20 million walk it now. And they will walk it when every throne that ever stood is dust. The grave they dug to end him became the road that has no end. And then, this is the part I most need you to carry out of this room. Atiyah. The young man looked at the old man weeping on the grave. And a question rose in him. The very question the whole of last night was built on. He asked Jabir, how? How can you be counted with them when you were not even here? You did not fight. You were 40 days and 100 miles away. How does the one who was absent share in the witness of the ones who were present? And Jabir, blind, with his hands still on the earth, lifted his head and told him what my grandfather, the messenger of God, had taught him with his own mouth. that whoever loves a people will be gathered with them on the day of standing, and whoever loves the deeds of a people shares in their deeds. Whoever loves a thing is raised among those who did it. Do you hear it? Do you hear what the first pilgrim said at the first grave? You do not have to have been there. You have to have loved it enough to walk toward it. That is the whole of last night, spoken by a blind man on the 40th day. The witness is the willingness, and the willingness is proven by the walking. Jabir was not at Karbala. Jabir is of Karbala forever, because he loved it, and he walked toward it. And God counts the one who walks toward Husayn among the ones who stood beside him. And that, my beloved, that is why I brought you here tonight, to a journey instead of a death. Because you are not at Karbala either, not one of you. You were born 13 centuries too late and a whole world away. You have wept for my family on these 14 nights from a room they have never seen, in a language they never spoke, under the flag of one of the very empires we named tonight. And a voice in you, the same honest voice that spoke in Atiyah, has perhaps wondered quietly in the dark, what is my grief even worth? I was not there. I can do nothing. I am late and far and small. You are Jabir, that is my answer. You are the old blind man on the road, and your weeping is not nothing, and your love is not too late, and your distance does not disqualify you. Every one of you who turns your face toward Husayn tonight, whether you walk the actual road to his grave on the 40th day, or whether your whole pilgrimage is to cross your own living room to the place where you pray, or whether the only road open to you is the unwatched refusal in your own chest to bow to a throne you were ordered to bow to, every one of you is walking the road Jabir opened. You are his caravan. The river that began with 2 men still has not reached its end, and you are in it. And you do not walk it alone. And you do not walk it empty-handed, because the road is crowded now with the ones we named tonight. The whole chain of our own lifetime walking just ahead of you toward the same grave. The boy from Shahada who mailed his death to Karbala. The commander who asked for the thirst of Husayn in the severed hands of Al-Abbas. The man who gave up his own name. The one you watched leave on the glass of your hand. The journalist in the tent who died bearing witness. The guardian struck in his own house whose last word was the verse of the covenant kept. The children, the broadcast children, the smallest pilgrims of all. They are all on Jabir's road. They all walk toward Husayn. And so do you. So I will not end tonight at a graveside, the way I have ended so many of these nights. Tonight I end on the road, because the road is where you are, and the road is where I am waiting for you. I am at the end of it, behind the veils on the far side of my long absence. I'm at the end of the road every one of these pilgrims is walking, and I am watching for the dust of your coming. The blind man reached the grave, you are still walking. And the only thing I ask of you, I, the awaited one, may our Lord hasten my return, is that you do not stop, and that you do not walk it alone, and that when you reach the turn in the road where a brother of yours has fallen, you do not pass him by. Pray ardently for my return, my beloved, and walk and look as you walk for the one beside the road. Because the question is the same tonight as it was over the first body on the first morning of the world. The question God asked of the first man who let his brother be killed and looked away. It is the oldest question, and it is the only one that finally matters. And tonight it is asked of you on the very road Jabir opened. Where is your brother?